Coldstone here, and today I'll provide you with a general guide on how to play the vampire counts in Total War Warhammer 3. Now, going from Warhammer 2, there's a vast difference in playstyles. You no longer spam out skeletons, but hear me out. Instead you spam out zombies. You no longer have to be good at battles. Instead you just need Helm and Ghost, press play battle, give an attack move to your zombies and go make tea. Zombies are so stupidly strong in this game that it's almost comical. However, they aren't that strong in the beginning of your campaigns. Initially you should still spam them out and start researching technologies to increase their combat strength. Before fighting battles, remember to pause research for a chance to gain some students. During the early campaign, you'll mostly be relying on your lords and starting units, but after researching the first few technologies for zombies, you can start phasing out some of the more expensive units due to efficiency. Vampire counts are mainly a melee-focused faction that excels in their survivability. I say mainly as they do have a very limited retinue of ranged units. Their unit roster, however, leaves much to be desired, as every unit is low armor with a mediocre damage output and are uninteresting to use. However, if you're not confident in winning battles with just zombies, you can recruit other units. The units I prefer to recruit, which complement zombies quite well, are Mortis Engines, Terrorgeists, and occasionally some cavalry. Mortis Engines excel at destroying infantry units, Terrorgeists are effective against other single entity monsters, and cavalry can be useful for dealing with ranged units and running down enemies. However, in most cases I would advise avoiding recruiting these units, as they can be quite expensive. The standout stars in your armies will always be the lords, because the vampire counts have the best lords in the game. They are remarkable fighters and spellcasters with access to some fantastic mounts. Spellcasters on their own are some of the best units in the game, but are usually fairly weak in melee, unless it is a legendary lord. But the vampire count lords can be both amazing in melee and can cast spells from the best lore of magic in the game, the lore of vampires. Not only that, but they also have some of the best skill trees in the entire game. You can't even begin to compare the vampire count's skill lines to that of any other race in the game, as in comparison most other races are just bare bones. Their blue line includes options like reduced upkeep with experience gain, greater heal cap for the lord, and a boost to Vin's reserve capacity. Nearly 90% of what makes the vampire counts great comes from their lords. As I mentioned earlier, the lore of vampires is considered the best lore in the game due to its versatility. It can buff units, heal them, and the best part is you can use the Wind of Death spell, which is a much more reliable source of damage compared to other spells in the game, such as Vortex spells, Burning Head, or Penumbral Pendulum. If you're enjoying the video thus far, please consider subscribing for future content, as your support really does mean a lot to me. Now back to the video. Developing provinces is relatively straightforward. You primarily need two buildings: the Repression Chain and the Growth Chain. Repression buildings are your main source of income and provide province control, while the growth buildings are essential for building up provinces and recruiting more necromancers. Always seek additional income sources, as more income means more armies, and we certainly love our zombie hordes. One crucial piece of advice: avoid constructing recruitment buildings. Instead, rely on the Raise Dead mechanic, which allows you to recruit various units from specific sites on the map, and you can upgrade the capacity of certain units to only spawn in every province. Recruitment buildings are an unnecessary drain on your resources, as they are both unnecessary and you won't be staying in your provinces for long. Instead, always be looking to expand as much as possible. Once you reach tier 4 or 5 settlements, focus on constructing advanced military buildings. These provide a small income, but more importantly, they increase your hero capacity. As soon as possible, start recruiting heroes. After lords, heroes are the best units you can have in your armies. Banshees are primarily used for increasing campaign movement range. White Knights excel in duels against enemy heroes, and Vampires are excellent hero units. They are similar to Lords, as they can both cast spells and are decent melee combatants. However, amongst all of these, Necromancers play a pivotal role in keeping your campaign alive, or rather, undead. They provide significant healing and powerful buffs when on their corpse cart mounts. Additionally, they can cast the Lore of Vampires, making them invaluable when attached to low-level lords. You usually want at least one Necromancer in your armies, along with a Banshee. White Knights and Vampires are typically sent where the fighting is expected to be toughest, and where you're unsure if zombies alone can handle the situation. When it comes to blood kisses, I find you get them naturally very quickly. In Warhammer 2 you could speed up getting blood kisses by trait farming the Devious trait and getting enemy heroes wounded. But in Warhammer 3 there really is no need for that, just because you have so many armies and will fight so many more battles against enemy legendary lords that you will have more blood kisses than you can use. In terms of bonuses, I like getting a point in the One Cast online, then Lamian, then Necrarch, One Cast again, and then finish the Necrarch line. After you finish the Necrarch line, you can go whatever you want, as everything is useful but nothing stands out. As for which lords I like best, I would have to say the Lamian lords are probably the best, as they truly are amazing fighters and have access to amazing spells. The rest are decent, but nothing really stands out. Well, these are all the general tips I could think of to help you in your campaigns. If you have some tips you want to share yourselves, please do so in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing. Thank you for watching, and until next time.